In this powerful episode, I sit down with Cash Nimmer-Culberson, who is 16 years old. He is the youngest son of Leila Culberson, who told her story in a part 1 and part 2, Surviving the Unthinkable, a mother's true story of betrayal, abuse, fentanyl loss, and the courage to heal and take action. So I encourage you to listen to those episodes first before you listen to Cash's story, because Cash will end up referring to some of what Leila talked about in her story, and it will fill in some of the blanks that you might have had if you've already listened to part 1 and part 2 of Leila's story. But this is Cash's story, and I'd like to welcome Cash Nimmer-Culberson. Welcome to Intrepid Storytelling, where the brave, the courageous, the dauntless, and the resolutely fearless share their journeys of hope, grit, and transformation. These are the voices of the valiant, those who dared to rise, to dream, and to tell their truth out loud. Because every story has the power to inspire, and yours just might change the world. I'm your host, Deanna Powell. First, I want to do a trigger warning for anybody who listens, because we're going to talk about some of your trauma that you've experienced. It includes CSA and some other things of that sort. But I want to welcome you, Cash. Is your last name Culberson?
Nimmer-Culberson.
Oh, Nimmer-Culberson. Okay. Cash, you are 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
Just also as a precursor to everything, your mom did give permission for you to tell your story today. I think it's just so brave, courageous. I call it intrepid. It really is when you have something really hard to talk about, but the fact that you came and contacted me through your mom saying you're ready to tell your story, your version of the story. I find it fascinating that a lot of people keep telling your story, but it's your story. It's not their story to tell, it's your story to tell.
Right.
I just think it's wonderful that you're ready to tell it, and in whatever capacity you feel safe. Okay? Why do you want to tell your story today?
Because I feel like it's important to get out there to spread awareness, and I think it's important to help people that aren't ready to share theirs.
Yeah, especially maybe teenagers like yourself. So that's really cool. You are going to inspire people, and you might even save somebody's life, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. I always like to start from the beginning. What was your childhood like? What are some of your first memories that you have?
The youngest age I remember being is 4. I remember I had a party at Chuck E. Cheese. I don't remember much of the party. I remember I was mad at my sister because my mom made me my own birthday cake. She didn't buy one, she made it herself. My sister Spencer took one of the pieces of the birthday cake, took a bite, and then threw it away. And I remember I was mad at her for the rest of the day.
Oh, because did you feel like it was disrespectful or?
Yeah. Because I didn't even get it. She took a bite and then she threw it away.
Oh, did you get even one piece?
I think so. Of the actual cake, because she did cakes and then she put cake pops on top of it.
Oh,
and that's what she ate.
That little stinker. Do you have a good relationship with Spencer now?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's typical.
Yeah.
Siblings, my sister and I are in our late 40s and we still bicker. But I remember when we were teenagers, oh man, you have moments where you're like best friends and there for each other, like I've got your back like nobody else.
Yeah.
And then you've got your moments where you're like, I'm going to kill you.
Definitely a lot of those too.
Yeah. So you were 4, that's sort of your first memory.
That's as far back as I can remember, yeah.
Okay. Do you think about your childhood as a happy childhood or kind of a mix of both happy and hard?
A lot of both.
Where do you like to spend your time thinking about when you think about your childhood?
I don't know so much where, but I like to talk about it with people, certain people. I would talk to my sister, my mom, my girlfriend, a couple close friends, and that's about it.
Yeah, your close circle. The people you trust.
Yeah, right.
And those are the people that you tell some of the hard stuff to, or even just some of the happy stuff?
Both.
Are there some relationships that you remember maybe some friendships, maybe even some family members that kind of helped give you some self-confidence, some of the people that were positive in your life? Do you remember?
My mom, my sister, Sawyer was a good one. One of my mom's friends, John, I
Okay.
would say he was a big one too.
John was a positive male
Yeah,
role model.
yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that. I think about my kids
Hmm.
sometimes and what kind of male role models do they have? So
Yeah,
it's very important. I think when you're a male yourself or however you identify, just being able to relate to somebody and then also kind of go, oh, I like the way he lives his life. I want that life. And even I, as a in my late 40s,
hmm,
I have people in my life where I say, oh, they live a life I want to live. And then I
yeah,
try to do the things that they do. Those are important relationships, definitely. And you think that when you go through something hard and you're trying to dig deep for meaning or purpose
hmm,
or strength, you can lean on those people, which is
yeah.
awesome. Do you still have John in your life?
I haven't talking to him so much lately because he's up in Oregon. He doesn't come down here that often anymore. But when my mom talks to him, I'll talk if he's on the phone or something.
That's good. He's a phone call away.
Remember,
Well,
he used to take us on trips. He took us to California a couple times. It was nice. Took us out on his boat a few times.
ooh, fun.
Hmm.
Let's talk about some of the things that you want to talk about, the reason
Hmm.
why you're here. Is there a place where you'd like to start, or do you want me to ask certain questions?
I think it would help to be asked questions because being put on the spot is a very hard
Yeah,
thing
it's
for
hard.
me.
It's hard. Trust me. I know. Well, listen, the reason why you wanted to tell your story
Hmm.
is because probably, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's
Yeah.
probably because there are a lot of people in your life, family members, and then other people who are associated with your dad
Yeah.
that may have been talking about what has happened in your life.
Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe they don't know what they're talking about because they don't
Hmm.
know the full truth. Maybe they
Yeah.
do know what you're talking about, but they're trying to spin it in a certain way. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
No, you're not.
I definitely want you to tell your story the way you want it told because this
Hmm.
is your story and nobody else's. This is your life.
Hmm.
This is your experience. You get to talk about it.
And I would say a lot of my family that's not associated themselves in my life anymore haven't heard our side of the story. They've only heard his, and that's what they choose to believe off of.
I call it gossip.
Hmm.
But when somebody hears something and
Yeah.
then believes that version of the story and then starts
Hmm.
repeating it to other people without going straight to the source, to
Uh-huh.
the person who experienced it, it's not fair. It's not fair
It's
to
not.
you. It's not even fair to your dad to even know the full story. Both sides deserve to be heard.
Right.
And then you make your decision after listening to both sides of the story. Then you make your decision.
Hmm.
And based on knowing both sides and the truth, the full truth of both sides, then you make your decision. And you deserve to be heard today. What do you remember about your experiences with your dad that were like, that doesn't feel right?
I remember, I think like, as far as I can remember, like as far back as I can remember, there was an incident where my mom had just gotten a new car and we were going out to dinner to celebrate. My dad had told me and my sisters we weren't allowed to eat in the car because we had leftovers. We brought it in the car. And then he said, like, this is a new car, don't eat in it. And then I remember me and my sister Spencer, we decided to eat in it anyway. And then he told us that he was like gonna punish us when we got home. I can't remember like exactly what he said, of course, but I remember we got home. Sawyer, my sister Sawyer, and my mom, they were sitting on the stairs, and then he brought me and Spencer into the kitchen, and he like made us like almost strip our clothes, and he had a back scratcher, and he would like hit us with it, and then I remember my mom and was like crying, knowing that was happening to us. And I remember that's like all I remember from
Yeah.
that.
Do you
that
remember if
part.
your mom felt like she could, or was she trying to stop him from doing it?
I don't remember. I remember that her and Sawyer were sitting on the stairs, kind of just like there. I don't think they really wanted to say anything because I don't like they didn't want him to get more angry or something.
I want to tell you something. I can relate to this story
Hmm.
because, my dad used to do that. He would hit us with belts.
Hmm.
And I think my mom had a hard time with it too, but she didn't stop it either. I have a hard time remembering the feeling that I had, and then looking back on it, being a mom now myself,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I could never just sit there and let that happen. I want to validate your feelings about that. And not to speak for Spencer, but I'm sure that she feels the same way you do about, a lot of these things. Just wondering why such a harsh punishment just for eating in the car. What are some of the other memories do you have?
There's like a lot of different things I remember. I obviously don't remember like every single detail, but I think from the farthest memories I have, other than the one I just shared, the next one would be I remember there was a time where I did something. I can't remember what I did to upset my dad, but he was upset with me. And then I remember I was taking a nap trying to get out of whatever punishment he had. He woke me up from my nap, and I remember he told me to come outside with him, and we went outside and he told me that I needed to pick out a branch that was like from one of the bushes or the trees. And I remember the branch having a bunch of like sticker bushes, like thorns in it. And he brought me inside and he like hit me with it. I remember every time he would hit me with something, he would like make me strip my clothes and hit me like directly on my skin.
My mom actually was raised that way. I wonder if it's a generational thing.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's like a lot of people will sometimes say, oh, yeah, we all got hit growing up,
Hmm.
trying to say, like, you shouldn't complain about that. But I don't feel that way. Do you? Do you feel like it's like just because they grew up and they're fine with it, that you should be fine with that treatment?
I
No,
don't think so.
me neither. And I think that we all kind of grow up and go, well, when I become a parent, I'm going to do things differently.
Yeah.
And there are ways to learn a lesson, right? Maybe you did need to learn a lesson about something, whether it's eating in the car or talking back or whatever it could be, right? Leaving dirty clothes on the floor. There's a way to learn that lesson without being physically harmed,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes learning it in a more productive way is a better way to learn it, but that's just my opinion. Do you remember any of the sexual stuff that your dad used to do?
I remember things like he would have like my sister stand in front of me and him and have them touch each other in inappropriate ways, and he would have me watch with him. And I remember there was times where if we didn't do something that he said, he had a handgun that his parents had given to him, and he had like me and all my siblings stand in a row, and he would hold it up to us, and he told us that he was going to shoot a hole in the wall so that we could see that his gun worked. And yeah, I remember he did that, and that was his way of like forcing us to do whatever he said.
How
And
did that make you feel when he shot a hole in the wall?
scared, terrified.
How old were you?
I want to say 7, so that means my sisters were 9 and 11.
So, did you just kind of stand there and just do whatever he said because you were scared?
Yeah, that's. Mhm.
Yeah. How often would that happen, do you say? Like the just him telling you what to do and you were scared, so you just did it
Almost like daily,
every
I would
day.
say, whenever my mom was at work. So, whatever her schedule was back then is every day.
Wow. And it started when you were 7, or did it start earlier?
Well, that specifically, I remember starting around when I was 7.
Do you remember if your dad was drinking or doing any kind of drugs or something?
I know he would tell us that he wasn't on drugs anymore, but he was addicted to meth, and he would always tell us stories of how my mom saved him from meth and that he's not on it anymore. But I remember a time where I want to say I was probably 6 or 7. He had me and my sisters. We were laying on the floor in the living room, and I remember he had like hair ties. He would put them around our arms, and I don't know what it was, but he injected our arms with something, with a needle, and then whatever it was made us fall asleep. And I remember whenever we woke up, he told us to take our clothes off and go outside and made us run up and down the hill of the cul-de-sac.
After you woke up?
In the middle of the night.
And did he tell you why?
I don't remember.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
At all. And you were, again, about 6 or 7 when that was happening. He injected you with a needle.
And my sisters.
That made you fall asleep. Do you remember the feeling you had when he did that? Did it make you feel a certain way?
I can't remember one.
Just sleepy?
Yeah.
Oh, did he ever make you eat anything like that? Like pills or medicine?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Or how many times do you remember him injecting you with needles?
I want to say that only happened once that I can remember.
Just that one time when he also woke you up and made you run. Did he make you run?
Yeah.
Any other times? Yeah. Like as punishment?
Any other times? No. Not that I remember. Just that one night.
What were you feeling or thinking at the time he woke you up and you were like running? Do you remember thinking, why am I doing this? Am I in trouble again? Or what was it that you were feeling?
Yeah, I was wondering why we had to do that. But we would just kind of have to do whatever he said because I was scared of what might happen if we didn't.
Did your sister Sawyer ever talk to you about stuff after these things would happen? Would she kind of gather you siblings together and talk to you about it? Or did you guys ever talk to each other about what was going on?
I remember after, I can't remember how long after, but after everything got out and my mom found out about all the abuse happening, I remember she did ask my sister if our grandpa was touching her inappropriately. She never really asked me much of anything that I remember, but I remember the night that my mom found out about everything. That night he was on the couch and he was watching porn on his phone.
Your dad?
Yeah. And then I remember my sister was really uncomfortable and she called my mom, went in the bathroom and called her and told her like she needs to get home, that she can't say why, but she needs to get home. And then I remember she went into the bathroom and she turned on the fan and the water, and she was scared that like there was like surveillance cameras or like audio recording. She was scared that they were being recorded in there.
Why did she think that?
She thought that like my dad was setting that up so that he could hear whatever she was telling my mom.
Had he recorded you guys before?
He did, and he had a cameraman. He used to, I remember him taking pictures, like naked pictures of my sisters in the shower and certain things like that.
Wow.
I remember.
When did that happen? That was before the porn thing, right?
Yeah.
So he had somebody come over to your house to record your sisters in the shower. Were your sisters in the shower together and he was recording? Oh, goodness. And did you know that this was going on when you were young?
I think so. He would like have me stand there with him.
I'm sorry. It's not normal. It's not right. And it's not your fault either. Even if you felt like you should have said something or done something, it's not your fault. Okay? I'm proud of you for talking about this stuff. It's hard. So this cameraman, do you remember much about him? Do you remember his name?
I want to say Alex.
He's a friend of your dad's?
Yeah.
Was he older, younger, same age?
I'd say a little younger. I can't really remember what he looks like, but I remember him coming over and taking those pictures. And I remember afterwards, after everything got told to my mom, I remember when they went back to that house, my mom finding a picture that he had taken of my sister in the shower.
So that was a picture. The picture that she found was a picture in the shower. You remember that picture being taken by that guy, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Alex probably used his own camera, and he took his camera with him when he left, yes? So this is making a little bit more sense now why the police can't find any photos, because your dad didn't really possess any of the photos. It was this other person.
Yeah.
Some pieces are falling together now. Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot, and over a long period of time to remember all the different things. And your mom really was here for quite a few hours talking.
Yeah.
You know, some of those pieces were missing now that it makes sense. When he would take those photos, do you remember how old you were?
Probably around the same age, like 6.
6, 7.
Yeah.
And then the gun incident happened when you were 7. You just knew you were afraid of your dad.
Yeah.
No matter what. You didn't ever talk to anybody about any of it. You just stayed silent, even your mom.
Yeah.
Did Alex ever take any pictures of you?
I don't remember that happening.
Just of your sisters?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your dad ever make you do anything with your sisters? Do you remember?
I remember he would, like, make me kiss them on the mouth and stuff.
And while they were taking pictures, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. It was just probably a little bit of grooming, maybe to see how you would react to doing some of those things. Okay. I hope I'm not being too intrusive with my questions. You feel safe? Okay, good.
I remember, like, he had this thing where he would count backwards from 10, and by the time he was done counting, if we didn't do whatever he said, that there would be a punishment.
And it could have been hitting. What's a different punishment than the back scratch thing and the sticker bush?
I remember he would use his hands or just like any object that he was able to hit us with. Like, I remember there was a time I made him upset, and he had, like, those hangers that you use for clothes.
The wire ones?
Uh-huh.
Okay, not the plastic ones.
No, it was the plastic
ones,
I think.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like hard plastic. He would take like a few of those at a time. I remember him telling me verbally, like, I'm gonna hit you with this until your skin turns blue. And I remember he did that. I remember laying there and I couldn't move for a little bit.
I'm sorry. I can relate to some of this, okay? So you're not alone. Sorry to have like flashbacks of some of my childhood too. What makes you the most frustrated about what other people are saying that you feel is not the truth, and why you're telling the truth today?
Like, that they've said about what they think happened or what happened.
Yeah, you feel like some people believe some lies that are not true.
He's definitely a really big manipulator. I remember a few years prior to my sister passing away, I remember she tried to reach out to my cousin Emery on my mom's side. I remember her responding to Sawyer, and she cussed her out and told her, like, that no matter what, she's gonna believe Corey over us, and that he's her uncle over it all, and that he was her uncle before he married my mom, and that she's gonna believe him. And
Is she a close cousin to you? Were you ever feeling like you were close?
Growing up, yes. Yeah. Ever since then, no.
So it kind of feels like a betrayal in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did she ever come to you to ask you directly about what happened? She
never asked us anything.
Okay. And this is why you're telling the story today. So hopefully she gets to hear your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she'll change her mind knowing what you're story, what your truth is.
Yeah.
And maybe she won't and will never have control over who decides what they decide in the end after they hear your side. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, and we just get to know that the truth is out there in the end. And whoever decides is the people who come to you and support you are your people. And the people who don't aren't.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We don't need everybody to love us. We just need the people who do. Have you experienced some things recently that have frustrated you?
Recently?
As far as what's come out that you feel are lies that you need to tell the truth about, make sure the truth is known?
Recently, Corey has been making posts on Facebook. He made a few about my sister saying like...
Sawyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying like that she passed away of a fentanyl overdose, and that like sharing how much he was mourning and missing her. And I remember there was pictures of the two of them, Sawyer and him, that he had taken years ago, and he posted them, and people were like making AI videos of them with the pictures.
Other people made the AI videos, but he didn't make the AI videos. Okay. So he posted photos of him and Sawyer together as a sort of a memorial post?
I think so.
Okay, and then other people, do you know who made those AI videos?
Just whatever friends he had in the comments. And then I remember Spencer, my other older sister, she commented on the post and like told him directly that he needs to stop talking about my sister's death and posting pictures about it, and that like she was the reason that she died in the first place. And she posted photos of his arrest records and whatnot. And I remember...
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about when your dad was arrested.
Okay.
So, do you remember that day?
So, I remember it was after everything got out to my mom, and I remember he had been working at Costco in Shoreline, I want to say, for about 6 months. My mom and him were already planning to get a divorce prior to everything, and they both agreed that when they were gonna get served, that they wouldn't have it happen at their place of work. What happened was he had my mom served at work, and then my mom turned around and had him arrested at his place of work. So he was arrested and he was brought in, I think, for like a night, and his bail was I want to say 100,000, and his parents bailed him out of jail. He's been set free. He was never on trial or anything, but
he never went to court.
Did
they charge him, but then never really?
They never
they dropped the charges.
Yeah, I think so. But
do you know why he never went to court? So again, I don't want
to paid them off pretty much.
That's what you feel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Money talks for sure. Okay. When you have enough money to pay for a good lawyer, that definitely is something that's wrong with the court system. If there was no real evidence in the house besides that one photo that your mom found of, was it Sawyer in the shower? Spencer in the shower. Okay.
I think the only other thing that they found, so the day that he had shot the hole in the wall, I can't remember who it was, but he hired somebody to patch it up. But I remember they were like feeling in the spot of the wall, and there was like a big dent there from where the hole was. I remember the detectives finding that, and then the photo of Spencer. And I think those were the only things they could find.
When you charge somebody with a crime and you only have those two little pieces of evidence, and you try to take it to trial, and then you actually find somebody not guilty. Once they're found not guilty, you can't take them to court again.
And he was never on trial, but he's now claiming that he was found not guilty. He was telling my aunt, my mom's sister, that recently, a couple days ago.
Right. So what the truth is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the truth is they dropped the charges, but that's because they couldn't find enough evidence to find him guilty.
And
so they
I
dropped the
remember-
charges. So what is happening now is they did that so that if and when they do find enough evidence, they can charge him and find him guilty.
I remember.
Does that make sense?
I remember the courts telling us that there would need to be more victims first before they can do anything further.
And that's sick. That feels sick, doesn't it? You're not the only one that has been told that. I won't get into anybody else's story, but you're not the only one who has been told that there's going to have to be more victims. And I think actually, did you ever talk to Clark Fredericks?
I didn't.
Okay,
I've
Clark.
heard of him.
He has a story.
Yeah.
You probably know a little bit about it. Did you get to watch his podcast?
Not yet. I heard bits and pieces from what my mom told me of it.
The person assaulted him. Years and years and years go by. I mean, he was a sheriff in the town. Person who abused him was respected. I put it in quotes, a respected person in the community. But meanwhile, there were people in the community that knew. They knew he was doing something, but they couldn't pull enough evidence against him to charge him. So for years, he gets away with it, gets away with it, gets away with it. And that's what ended up finally. I won't tell the whole story because people should go and watch his podcast, but a person could get away with something like this for many, many years if they don't have enough evidence against him. So that must be very, very frustrating for you.
Yeah, it is.
And that was probably very frustrating for Sawyer. Very frustrating for Spencer. And the only thing really is that you can tell your story, and hopefully your story could be used as the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth evidence. If you feel like he should be charged, maybe your testimony is enough. When can your testimony be used? Do you know? You don't know at what age are you? Maybe this podcast might be, maybe if Spencer, once she's ready to tell her story, maybe she can tell her version of her story.
Yeah.
One day. And then do you know what Sawyer was planning to do when she turned 18?
I remember she wanted to bring her own case against him, against Corey, and I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but I remember her always wanting to hunt him down to kill him.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And honestly, nothing's going to happen. You know, if you want that to air, we can take it out if you want, but if you do, it's fair, and nothing would ever happen to her anyway because she's in heaven now.
Yeah.
So. But those feelings are so fair because honestly, that's what Clark wanted.
Yeah.
He ended up doing it. Now, was it the right choice? He himself will say no, and it didn't even bring him pleasure in doing it, but that's what happened. And he did pay the consequences for his actions, but he felt like it was the only way to stop him. And sometimes you feel desperate, and you feel that way. It's a valid feeling. Is it the right choice? No. But is there anything else you want to tell about your story?
There's a lot. It's just a lot of things I don't remember every detail too because my memory's just blocked it out.
Yeah, that's normal.
Like,
they call it disassociation.
Yeah.
Where you protect your mind and your heart, and your physical body can have residual effects from trauma. And so your brain cover over it, but it's still in there, isn't it? Have you felt any of the effects from some of that where you're like, it's in there, but it's not showing its face right now? Have you had any physical pain from holding your trauma in?
I would say it feels like it's a hard thing to talk about, so I never really opened up about it with many people because it hurt to talk about. And I felt like it would hurt other people to hear.
What people do you think you would hurt?
I don't know. Like anybody that knew about it, because it's a hard story to hear and to tell too.
Were you kind of keeping it inside to protect your mom?
I would say, yeah.
Who else did you feel like you were protecting by not saying anything?
I don't know. Like other family members, but most of my family I haven't told because they haven't asked me anything. They've just decided just to block me and forget about me instead.
Does that feel lonely?
Yeah.
Who makes you feel like you're not lonely?
The ones that actually take time to listen and let me talk and help support me.
And validate your feelings.
Yeah.
You have a few of those people in your life, which is good. It's really good. You wish you had more, or do you feel like you have enough people in your life that know your story?
I have a pretty solid circle, but it would be nice if that other side of the family would give me a chance.
Do you think that maybe they don't give you a chance to tell your story because why would you think they don't come to you?
I don't know. A lot of them have been told different things. They've been told that my mom was coaching us into saying everything about my dad that happened to us, and they would say like that she's got us brainwashed and that none of that ever happened to us, and that Corey's like such a good person and that he would never do that. And they believe, like, some of them believe that since my mom was abused as a child, it would only make sense if she did those things to us. I've heard
Instead
that
of being
too.
hyper vigilant to make sure it doesn't happen to you, they're trying to say that she did those things to you, which is interesting.
Yeah, I remember that's what her stepmom would say.
Did you hear her stepmom say those things?
I heard that she said that. I remember my mom told me that she said that to her.
Okay, so you heard it through your mom then? What do you want to say to the people who say that you've been brainwashed?
They're the ones that have been brainwashed by Corey.
Is it easy to be brainwashed by Corey?
I would say, yeah, he's really good at manipulating, and like he's claimed that he was a Christian like all my childhood. I can remember him always claiming that he was a Christian and hiding in the church.
He hid in the church?
Yeah.
Like in what way?
He would present himself as a Christian to like make people believe that he was a better person than he really is.
Yeah. Okay. So he's like using Christianity as a mask.
Like, if you know the term like a wolf in a sheep's clothing.
Ah.
I would say that would be him.
Do you feel like he should not be in a church?
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's not a safe person to be around? Okay. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
But yeah, I do feel like that.
For people who knew Corey, so let me tell you something about me. I knew your dad growing up. I went to school with him.
Okay.
He was in a singing group that when we would go on tour and stuff. I never knew him as a person who even did drugs.
Okay.
Never knew him like that. He was very charismatic. I can tell you that. He was a very fun person to be around. Those are my memories of him. Now, would I have ever thought he was capable of doing the things that he has done to your sisters or your family? No, absolutely not. I never in a million years would have thought that. 100% of me believes you. You are the person who it happened to. You are the person who suffers the consequences from telling your story, feeling or not telling your story, right? Like for the first part of your life, you haven't said a word. You haven't told your story until today, except to your mom and maybe some police officers, right?
Yeah.
And some close people to you. So for you to tell your story, you would never make something like this up, because this is being recorded and it's going to go out to the world. And you said that for the purpose of hopefully helping somebody else who's scared to tell their story, to tell it. Tell your truth. Telling the truth is so important. So important, because a child, 6, 7 years old, they don't make shit up like that.
Right.
They don't make shit up. They're not going to say this happened to me and then it be a lie. Okay, so I believe you. Even though I never knew Corey to be a person like that, I mean, I knew him as a teenager. People do things when they get older,
Right.
One, that they regret. I mean, I have a lot of things that I regret. Drinking and driving is one of the main things that I really regret doing when I got older. And I never, in a million years, when I was a teenager, would I have ever thought that I was going to be an alcoholic that would drink and drive. Do I think Corey probably has some regrets about things that he's done? Yeah. His regret might be that he got caught.
Right.
because there are certain like personality disorders that when you get to know, and I'm not trying to diagnose him in any way, but I'm going to say this again because I said it when I was sitting with your mom when she did her podcast. The fact that the story is out there, it's been told, and he has not tried to sue for defamation of character or libel or slander. The fact that he has not tried to bring a case against a story that if he was innocent, he would be front and center saying, this never happened and I'm going to sue you. He hasn't done that. Why?
Because he's guilty.
I just want to say that, first of all. Another reason why he's probably not doing that is because he starts a case. Now, all of the testimony between you, Spencer, and everything else that's been built up to this day will come out in the open, and the truth will be told. Laying bare with our hearts and our vulnerability wide open right now. You've told some very hard things. Probably have more to tell, and if you want to, you can. But I just wanted to take a pause here just to say, when you make a mistake, and Corey absolutely has, it's time to pay for your mistakes.
Right.
It's time to take responsibility and stop lying about it and just own it. Own it, take ownership, take responsibility, and pay the consequences. That's my personal feeling. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. It's time to pay the consequence. And, you know, the truth absolutely deserves to be told.
Right.
100% for you. For no one else but you. You're the person who deserves to be heard in all this, okay? Do you remember any of the other things that you wanted to talk about?
There's a lot.
You have a lot, huh? What age were you when Corey was arrested?
8. I think I had just turned 8.
So most of the things that you remember happened between age 6 and 8 for you.
Right.
Anything earlier than that do you remember other than the Chuck E. Cheese memory you have?
No, I would say I remember mostly from around those ages, between 6 and 8 the most.
Your mom talked about an incident with the dog. Do you remember that?
He would have the dog lying like on her backside, and he like molested her.
Molested or like penetrated her?
I don't remember that happening. I remember he like would touch her.
Touch her with his hand? Ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know what was going on at the time, or you just thought he was petting her, or what?
I didn't know.
Did the dog yelp or scream?
Yeah.
Okay. So she was in pain. How did that make you feel at the time?
I was like confused and worried, like what he was doing. I don't remember if he did anything sexual with my cat, but I remember he would like abuse her, like he would pick her up, and I remember he threw her outside in the snow. I remember he kicked my dog down the stairs a couple times.
Animals are so innocent. Children are too, of course, but animals, they can't talk.
Right.
They can't say anything. And for some reason, I don't get this, but they just keep coming back. It's like they have unconditional love for people who keep mistreating them. It's very sad.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you remember that you want to talk about? Nobody did anything to you?
I remember he would like in the shower, he would, when I was little, I can't remember everything, but he would never really touch me. He would have me do it to him. And then I remember some of the things he would have me do with my sisters. And I remember at work, there was a woman that he was cheating on my mom with at work. And I remember he would bring me and Spencer and Sawyer to her house with us, or with him at night. And I remember he would have us watch them, and they would have sex in front of us.
Like you would just be sitting there?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you know what was going on? Did he tell you what was happening, or?
No, I don't remember. I mean, I was too young to know what they were doing. I remember I was really uncomfortable with it. And I remember
what did you think they were doing?
I don't know.
You just were just sitting there going, okay, well.
And I remember when that would happen, he would only bring, for some reason, only bring me and he would bring us all three with, but he would only bring me and Spencer inside. He left Sawyer in the car. He like had all the windows rolled up and all the doors locked and like just left her there for hours.
Why do you think he would leave Sawyer in the car but bring you and Spencer?
I don't know. He often like I remember he told Sawyer that he hated her a bunch of times, and I remember her telling us that he told her that if he could have a trophy made for the world's ugliest daughter, that he would have it made for Sawyer. And I remember he was mad at her sometime and he kicked her in the head and it gave her a concussion.
Do you remember how old she was when that happened?
I want to say 11, 10 or 11.
Nobody should ever be treated that way, ever. And you should never have witnessed it. I'm just thinking about him leaving her in the car, and I wonder, because she was the oldest and she could have recognized what was going on, that she might have also been more like willing to talk.
Yeah.
You know, like if she saw him cheating on your mom, then she would have been, oh yeah, this and this happened.
Yeah.
Whether that was the reason or not, she felt like she was being rejected by being left in the car, even though, well, and two, that must have been so hard for her because she's probably thinking, I need to be in there to protect my brother and sister.
Right.
And then she was made to stay in there. Wow. Did you guys ever talk about that after it happened? Did she say, are you guys okay?
We never really talked to each other about anything.
Wow. Do you talk to your sister, Spencer, about any of this?
Not that often. We both don't really like to talk about it at all.
That makes sense. It's hard to talk about. It's not easy. You're doing great, by the way. Amazing. You're so brave. I can imagine that there are a lot of kids. No, I can't. I'm not imagining. I already know. I know there are a lot of kids out there who are feeling the same feelings you've felt, feeling like they need to talk about this stuff, but they don't know how.
Right.
They're feeling like they would rather shut down than to talk about it. Your bravery is going to be the reason why they can be brave too.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you. I want to make sure you get out everything that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about it.
Do you remember your dad ever taking any pictures, or it was just Alex who did?
Just that guy, Alex.
Okay.
Another thing that I can remember is I wasn't there, but my sister Spencer told me that one time Corey brought her to some restaurant with him, and apparently there was this dude that was homeless that Corey knew that he was friends with, and his name was Josh. And I remember Spencer saying that he got in the car with them. He went home with Spencer and Corey, and I remember meeting that guy a couple days after Corey had him like living. There was a staircase with like a space underneath it, and he had him like staying there. And I remember one time like we were getting ready for school in the morning and they were making us breakfast, and I remember the guy was making toast, and I remember he like ejaculated onto the toast and had my sisters eat it.
Oh my gosh. That's disgusting.
Yeah. I remember.
Do you remember him actually doing the act with the toast? Wow, you were made to watch that. Wow. But you didn't really know what was happening at the time, or did you?
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. Did you think he was just peeing or something?
Probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, a homeless person usually doesn't have money, so it's not like they can pay your dad to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because kids who are trafficked are basically sold for that kind of stuff, right? That was just for sport.
I guess.
That's pretty sick. How do you feel about the status of things right now? I guess what I'm asking is, your dad has not been formally charged and has not, because the charges were dropped because of insufficient evidence.
Right.
Okay. He was not found not guilty He just wasn't found anything. The
Yeah.
charges were dropped because the evidence was not there.
Right.
They're waiting until they have enough evidence to charge him again and actually take him to trial when they know they can win. Until that happens, they can't do it. How do you feel about that?
The fact that he hasn't been booked or anything.
Right. He hasn't really paid any consequences for his actions.
I feel like it's not fair. Like, I don't understand why other people that do similar things have been charged or like arrested, but I don't understand why he has it and the courts have been like paid off and lied to. And I feel like that's just not fair or right. I feel like it's not fair that other people get justice for the stuff that they've been to, but me and my family don't get any. I just don't understand that part at all.
It's got to be very frustrating.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Do you remember being questioned by the police? Do you remember sitting with the police and telling them what happened?
Not so much the police, but investigators, like, yeah, and the people in the courts. I remember being interviewed with my sisters, but separately they took us all one by one to ask us all our sides of the story. And I remember they would ask me, I can't remember the question, but I remember it was the same question over and over, but in like a different way. And I remember I would answer with the same answer every time. And then they would try to like twist their words and ask me it in a different way. And my answer always stayed the same. And then I remember getting upset with them that they kept asking me the same questions and my answer wouldn't change.
They probably do that on purpose to make sure that they're getting the correct answer. It's got to be frustrating though. It's like, hello, I just answered. All of that is kept in the file. At least that part is done. You're 16 years old. Do you feel like you're gonna want this to go to trial? And you guys are almost all over 18 now.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact laws about what age do you bring a case against somebody, but Sawyer in particular was going to bring her own case.
Yeah, and that is something I would also like to do.
Okay. Well, I say more power to you because if justice is what you want and justice is what you deserve, you just go after that with everything you've got because you deserve to feel peace about what's happened in your life. And you deserve 100% to be heard and believed for the truth. 100%. I hope telling your story today is part of that process.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than just to make sure that the truth is known straight from your mouth to everybody's ears. That's one purpose for this. But the second purpose, and I think that you're going to be amazed and hopefully uplifted, is that there are other kids that have gone through the same thing that will be saved because of your story. Inspired, hopefully they will feel like they're not alone and to be brave and to tell somebody before. Don't be afraid to tell somebody.
Right.
Do you look back on the time where you were like, I'm not going to say anything because I'm too afraid, and kind of go, well, I probably could have told my mom sooner. Not that there's anything wrong with you keeping it. The way that it happened is okay too. It's not your fault. What would have made you feel like my dad's not going to shoot me in the head? I'm going to tell my mom anyway.
Well, I don't know. I wish I was comfortable enough to tell her sooner, but I was also the youngest and I didn't know how to go about it. But I'm just whenever Spencer opened up to my mom, I started doing the same thing. I remember telling her bits and pieces and then leaving the house and then telling more and more, being interviewed in court and sharing everything that happened. And I remember my sister being in the hospital, Sawyer, because Corey put her in the hospital. And
okay, talk about that for just a second. So this was before her fentanyl thing.
Yeah, this was years ago after my mom found out about everything that had happened. That was, I want to say 2017. Yeah, that was a year.
So how did he put her in the hospital?
By beating on her. Her whole backside had bruises all over it. She was in the ER overnight.
Did he ever get arrested for child abuse after that?
I think that was one of his charges.
Oh.
And then the whole molestation and rape of child. Those were also charges.
Do you remember all of the charges that he has? Do you want to talk about them?
There's a photo that has them listed somewhere, but I know there's like a rape of child charge, molestation charges. I can't remember what else. And then there's like just his...
The physical
Yeah.
assault.
Yeah.
So you remember when Spencer went to the bathroom, asked your
Yeah.
mom to come home, quick,
Yeah.
come home. I need to tell you something. She went into the bathroom, turned the fan on in the water so she could drown out the sound of her
Right.
whisper to your mom. She told your mom everything. Do you remember when she did that? You were sitting outside?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what was going on when she went in there?
I had an idea. I was sitting with Corey and Sawyer in the living room, and then she went there. My mom hadn't been home all day. I wanted to see her, so I went into the bathroom with her, and then...
Were you in the bathroom when Spencer was telling your mom?
No, I went in a couple of minutes after, and then I heard about what she was telling my mom, and my mom started asking me, like, if anything inappropriate with him and I was going on, and so I answered her and told her about some things, and then she gathered me and my sisters and she told him, I think, that we were getting a hotel for the night, and we left. And I remember my mom called CPS and called our counselors, and I can't remember who else, and told them. And then we stayed with my mom's sister for a couple nights, and then also my grandma's. We stayed with her for a few nights and told them about everything that had happened. And I remember my mom had a CPS caseworker working with her. We had to go into hiding. I remember CPS coming to school to investigate me and my sisters.
Yeah. I want to go back to the moment, because I think that this is a really interesting part, that the bravery that it took for Spencer to actually say something,
Yeah.
to call your mom and say, come home, come home. Do you remember the feeling you had when she was finally saying something? I bet there's a lot of adrenaline going on. Like, oh my gosh, is Corey gonna get mad, or what's going to happen next?
I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
You just kind of were like, okay, Spencer's being brave, I'm going to be brave.
Right.
Okay, did Sawyer, same thing? Was she like, okay, Spencer's saying it, she's actually going to say it out loud now. Now what? Did you just kind of all band together?
Whenever we went, my mom took us to breakfast at I think 5-6 in the morning, and we started talking about everything. And I remember her calling the counselors and telling them, and them telling my mom that Sawyer had already been telling them things of Corey had been choking her.
Oh, right.
And
yeah, so the counselors already kind of had a heads up.
Yeah.
Your mom was almost the last to know.
I think so, yeah.
Well, and if this was a calculated thing where your mom was trying to set Corey up, let's say, because I'm sure that that's sort of the whispers around.
Right.
Why would she escape in the middle of the night, take you guys to breakfast at 5 in the morning? These things don't happen when you've planned this out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I remember that night or morning she took us to breakfast. That was the last time we ever saw him, and the last time she left us with him alone in the house or anywhere.
And the straw that broke the camel's back, because there's so many things that had happened before that, but that he was sitting on the couch and masturbating to porn in front of you guys, making you watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting there groaning and touching himself.
I'm so sorry. That's not normal.
Yeah.
That's just not normal. Okay. But you're not the only person who's been through it. And I know you know that. I've listened to a lot of stories.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about, but there are so many people who've gone through it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not alone. It's sick. It's sad that there are other stories out there like this, because you kind of wish you were the only one, because then now you know that other people have had to go through that. I'll ask the last question, unless is there anything else you want to share that you remember? Maybe somebody doesn't know the truth about, you feel like anybody's telling something that's not true that you want to set straight.
Another memory I have is my mom had this friend that was living with us in our house in Shoreline, Lindsay, and her kids were living with us too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Corey taking all of us kids, like including Lindsay's kids. We would go with him to the YMCA. He would go into the women's locker room with my sisters and their friends, and he would take photos of them in there.
Was that the
And
women's
then
locker room or the family locker room where there's boys and girls? Both.
I'm pretty sure it was just the women's one.
Hmm.
And then
Okay.
he had a camera that was like a disposable one and it was waterproof. And I remember he would, in the water, take pictures of the girls in their swimsuits.
So he did take photos.
Yeah, he did. I remember it only being at the YMCA that he took photos of them, though.
Okay.
And then the other times when it was at home, it being the cameraman.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
And then we can sort of finish up.
Okay.
What would you like to say to the people who, 1, have not talked to you directly, but 2, believe the lies that are, or at least the things that are not true that have been said to them? Your family members, friends, anybody that you feel like you want to say something directly to them.
I wish you would listen to me. I wish you would ask me about my story and my life instead of taking me out of your lives and choosing to believe somebody else that was the only one that got to share his side of the story. I just wish that they would allow me to talk and instead of going based off of what just one person says to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only hearing one side is not fair.
Right.
Got to hear both sides, then make your decision.
Right, exactly.
And my last question is, we're going to end on a high note.
Okay.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned that you could tell people, especially kids that have been through what you've been through? What's your greatest lesson that you've learned through all of this?
I guess that's a hard question.
Do you feel brave?
Yeah.
Today or just overall?
Overall, both.
What would you say to people who don't feel brave?
I would just say, like, it's okay to be scared, but I would want to encourage people to tell their stories and get it out there, just get the weight off their shoulders. It's okay if you're not believed, but it's better just to tell people and make everybody aware of what happened to you.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know why? It's because when you don't tell your story and other people are out there telling your story for you, they're not saying it right.
Right.
And maybe they're telling the truth about certain things, but it's your story.
Right.
It's not their story. It's your story to tell. You get to tell it. And guess what? You get to write the rest of your story. And what you've been through up to this point is just the first few chapters. You have so many more chapters to write. And the things that you've learned along the way, now you get to take that and go, I'm going to write it this way. I'm empowered. I'm going to do something with this part. I'm going to turn my pain into power.
Right.
And now you get to inspire people with your story, and you will. I know it with everything in me. It's what happens when you tell your story. People just automatically get inspired by it.
Yeah.
And your bravery is the main thing for me. It inspires me because I know how hard it was for you to tell your story today. I know how hard it was. When you were here before, when your mom was telling her part of the story, I can imagine that you were feeling very nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the fact that you were here supporting your mom and giving her encouragement and giving her hugs in between when we would take breaks, I could tell that you had it in you because your strength was uplifting her. Yeah. So that the fact that you're like, you probably didn't know that it was buried inside of you, but you have a lot of strength. I'm just very grateful that you were willing to tell your story today. If anybody wanted to leave any words of encouragement for you or send a message, where would you want them to send any kind of like an email, or do you have anything that you would maybe your mom has an email they
I
could send
have an
to?
email. I have Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You don't have to say what that is. I'm going to
Mhm.
get permission from your mom to release that information, but if
Okay.
it's okay with her, we will put it in the podcast notes.
Okay.
And the only thing I'm going to say about that is if you don't have something nice to say, do not say anything at all. So I'm
Right.
going to tell people if they have something negative or
Mhm.
something negative that they're about to send, you better not send it, because
Right.
it's going to get, one, deleted, and two, you're going to get blocked.
Mhm.
But if you have words of encouragement that you want to give to Cash, to Spencer, to Leila, to anybody in the family here, just to uplift them,
Mhm.
to help them to keep going, and just let them know that they have all the support in the world. Last thing, there is a foundation
Mhm.
that you guys started. You
Yep.
started it with your mom, didn't you?
Yep.
And you've created the artwork that is displayed on the website. The
Yep.
foundation is called
The Sawyer Culberson Project.
SawyerCulbersonProject.org.
Mhm.
Sawyer is spelled SAWYER.
YER.
Culberson, CULBERSON.
Uh-huh.
Then the word project, SawyerCulbersonProject.org. If you want to make a donation to the Sawyer Culberson project, please do so, because what you guys do to bring awareness to fentanyl poisoning, you guys hand out Narcan, you guys are out there just doing things for the unhoused and people that are in need. It's really amazing to see how you've taken some parts of the tragic parts of your story and you turned it into something that's really changing the world. Is very inspiring, and I think it's amazing. So good job. Thanks for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
If this story moved or inspired you, please take a moment to share this episode with someone who needs a spark of courage. Your 5-star rating and short review will help these brave, courageous, and resolutely fearless stories reach even more hearts. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an episode of Intrepid Storytelling. Thanks for listening.